Hey, how's it going? I'm coming at you today from the small bathroom of our small rental home, and today I'm going to work on adding peel and stick vinyl tile to the floor. The floor in this bathroom is painted wood, but not like hardwood, nice wood. It seems like it's almost like the subfloor that they just didn't ever add anything to and just have painted over time. And so it's terrible. There's chunks coming out of it, there's divots in it. Basically, with all of the moisture that happens in a bathroom with the shower and the bathtub, it has started to kind of rot. So because of all of the issues with the actual flooring, I'm going to start by smoothing the floor with this pre-mixed patch and level flooring and smoothing compound. It's sort of like the mud that you would add to a wall over a hole or to repair sheetrock, except for it's specifically for floors, and it's self-leveling, so you should be able to add it all in there, smooth it out, and let it dry, and then that will give me an even surface. And once I have an even surface, I'm going to add this really fun vintage-inspired black and white peel and stick vinyl tile. Isn't that cool? It's like a giant sticker. Now, I'm not like a licensed contractor. I am just a good old-fashioned home DIYer, and so I'm not going to say that anything that I'm doing is correct or the way that you should do it or anything, but I just wanted to share the experience because I think that a lot of us have small problems or issue places in our home where a little DIY can make a big improvement. So don't feel nervous if you've never done anything like this before, or if you're not a super duper handy person. I think that you'll be able to figure this one out. It's just laying giant stickers on the floor, so we got this. So before I get started, I thought I'd just give you a quick visual tour of the space. When we first looked at the house and decided to rent it, the bathroom was pretty sad. Everything in the whole house, in fact, with this kind of beigey yellow color. There were all sorts of odd pieces of hardware that had gone up in the bathroom. I started taking things down and added a nice fresh coat of white paint, which made a huge difference. I just got in here with a sprayer, sprayed the walls, the ceiling, and I think that with the white paint, some new hardware and shelving, and the floor, everything is going to be looking pretty awesome. As good as it's going to get for now, and definitely a lot better than it was. So to get started, I'm just going to use this pre-mixed patch and level and start adding it to the divots in the floor. Once I get it all smoothed out, I can wait for it to dry, and when I have a nice level surface, I can start laying this peel and stick tile. Okay, so I've got the floor putty down, and it's pretty close to level. It's not going to be perfect in this situation, but it is definitely a lot smoother and more level than it was before we started. So I'm just going to wait for it to dry for a couple hours, and then I can come back in and start putting down that vinyl tile. With the pre-mixed flooring already installed, now I have a pretty solid base to begin laying my tile. So this peel and stick tile is pretty amazing. It's like a giant sticker, and all you have to do is peel back the paper backing and then stick it to the floor. The instructions on the tile box itself recommend that you start in the center point of the room, so then you have really even lines starting from the center going out to all of the edges. And that's going to work in here. I probably only have 4 tiles that will actually make it down on the floor in the center in here because the room is so small before I start having to cut. And so I'm going to start laying them down, and then I'll show you how I like to cut around the edges so that they fit around the toilet and into kind of the little bits here and there. I just peeled off one tile, peeled off all of the paper backing, and then found the, I'm actually following the lines from where these previous sort of wood tiles are on the floor in here, and so I just laid it down flat. I'm going to press it in and then get started on the next one. I've laid pieces down even over my mixed flooring filler here, and it's not totally perfectly flat, but it's going to work, and it seems like it's still sticking okay over here. Here's a spot right here by the toilet where the full tile is not going to work, and so what I'm doing, and again, this might not be the most perfect method, but I'm kind of just bending the tile up so that I get a feel of where exactly it's going to go. And then I'll pull this piece off and cut along that edge so that it fits pretty tightly to the toilet itself. I'm just cutting with regular scissors, and this tile is so thin that it works just fine. So this piece has gone down with a little bit of space between the toilet bottom and the tile. And once I get all of the pieces in, I'll just add a little bathroom caulking around the edges, and that should help. On straight edges like this one next to the bathtub, a tape measure can be really helpful to just know exactly where you need to make your cut on your tile. One trick that you can use for some of the tricky kind of windy corners and places where you're going to have to cut the tile is to use a regular piece of printer paper and match up the corners as if it were the tile and then kind of fold it along the edges. I'm doing that here around the door frame so that I can see exactly where I'm going to need to cut. Working with the paper is a lot easier than trying to bend the tile itself, and in this way I can cut the paper so it fits well, and then I can use it as a pattern to cut my tile. I have all of the pieces of tile laid in, but there's still lots of work to do around all of the edges. Now that I've got all of the vinyl tile laid, I'm going to go ahead around all of the edges and add some bathroom caulk. That will help keep the moisture out from under the tile, and it will also help keep all of these little edges in place. And then I will be able to celebrate with this new, very inexpensive, super cute bathroom floor.